Hello, my name is Ivan Contreras, ASAM 325, Spring 2020 semester, Digital Television Series Proposal. The theme of my series is You Never Know What Tomorrow Will Bring. The show I'm proposing is an original action historical drama. The title is A Day That Will Live in Infamy. The actors for the main roles will be Ryan Higa as Tony Tanaka, Victoria Park as Wendy Sato, Ken Watanabe will be playing Akira Tanaka, and Maggie Chung will be playing Yui Tanaka. Here is my story. Tony Tanaka was born and raised in San Francisco to Japanese immigrant parents. He attends University of California, Berkeley, where he studies finance. His parents, Akira and Yui, own a small general store in Japantown. Growing up, Tony's parents had envisioned his son would take up the family business and would one day run the store, but Tony had other plans. What Tony wanted more than anything was to become successful and move out of Japantown. He was ashamed of his Japanese roots. Tony had just completed his fall semester and was on track to graduate in the spring of 1942. Unfortunately for him, the end of the semester meant he had to go back home and work at his parents' store. To make matters worse, he would be working alongside his least favorite person in the world, Wendy Sato. Wendy was a local girl, around Tony's age, that from a young age gravitated towards the Tanaka family. Wendy's mother died when she was just a baby. Her father, Fumito, was a fisherman and was never home. Over the years, Wendy would come to see Mr. and Mrs. Tanaka as parental figures. This did not sit well with Tony. He didn't like the fact that his parents welcomed Wendy into their home and treated her better, at least according to Tony. Over the years, Wendy would be the one to take over the general store instead of Tony. This was the one thing Tony liked about Wendy, because with Wendy running the store, his parents would get off his case about running the store. What Tony didn't know was that the reason Wendy stuck around at the store was to be close to him. Wendy had been in love with Tony ever since they were little. Tony steps off the bus onto his home street. Everything looked the same as it did the last time he was there. Cut to Wendy at work. She is busy restocking some cans along the back wall of the store. The bell on the front door sounds as the door swings open. Wendy welcomes the customer and asks if they need any help. She turns around to find Tony at the door. Wendy welcomes Tony with open arms, but Tony does not reciprocate. Wendy, not want to stay quiet, asks Tony when he's going to stop acting like a child and get over whatever it is he has against her. Although Tony has always pushed her aside, Wendy has nothing against him and remains hopeful that one day they'll be able to get along, perhaps even more. Tony ignores her comment and asks where his parents are. Wendy motions to the door at the back of the store. Tony opens the door and climbs up the stairs to the loft. A smile appears on Wendy's face as he climbs the stairs. Tony's father, Akira, was on his chair reading the paper while his mother, Yui, washes dishes. Both dropped everything to welcome Tony home. Tony reluctantly hugs his parents and they sit at the table to catch up. Tony asks his father why he was reading the paper. Tony never recalled seeing his father ever read the paper. Akira Tanaka tells Tony that with the recent attack on Pearl Harbor from Japan, he fears something bad may be approaching. Tony laughs and reassures Akira that he is overreacting, stating that the United States would never let a threat reach the mainland. Yui remains quiet, but fear can be seen in her eyes. Akira smiles and tells Tony that he's probably right, but that it doesn't hurt to be informed because you never know what tomorrow will bring. Tony laughs, but before his parents could speak again, he excuses himself for the night and goes to bed. The next morning, Tony is awakened by his dad furiously shaking him and begging him to wake up. In a daze and completely caught off guard, Tony sits on the edge of the bed trying to gather his thoughts. Tony storms out trying to figure out what is happening. His mom pays no attention to his question. She hands him a suitcase and tells him to pack his valuables. Extremely confused, Tony yells at his parents to tell them what is going on. Wendy turns around and tells him to start packing. Tony demands to know what is going on. Wendy grabs him by the shoulders and tells him that the federal government has ordered all the Japanese to pack up. "We only have a few minutes to pack up and board the buses," she says. Tony runs to the window and looks down to the street. Buses line the street as people from the neighborhood board them. I believe the show would do well because it deals with real historic events that echo with events happening in our world today. Quote, "The show is so good because it's so real. Watching makes you tense. It makes you angry. It makes you think." This is from The Hollywood Reporter, October 31st, 2018. This is referencing the Amazon original series, The Man in the High Castle, which is my example of why I think this show would be a success, seen as how Man in the High Castle has been a huge success for Amazon. Here is my picture, and here is the credit for the music used. Thank you for watching.